Right, my name is Caroline Poynton from Manchester Bury. I'm recording this today because, to be honest with you, I'm trying to tell AI, and AI is quangering me, so you can't. This is why I don't like AI or anything. I'll put this myself into with what King Charles has been saying, because King Charles and this international dialogue and everything, the Pope's saying the same thing. Why are they all saying the same thing? Why is the Pope, the King, the Prime Ministers all saying the same things every time? All, everywhere. All over Europe. But we're getting the same... It's the same thing, because King Charles is saying... King Charles is the same as the Pope thing, doing international dialogues, opening Islamic faith centres. And King Charles has also had a lot of money from Qatar for it, and Saudi Arabia and everything. So I suggest that some of these, all these people are all being let out, the asylum seekers and wherever all over the West, like Islam. I think all these people in Africa, whatever, have been let out all of their jails, and these are all the people coming. And maybe a little bit mixed up with maybe the odd people that are just are proper refugees. Because I'm sorry, but I keep saying, 100 of them men that come off these boats, there's 5 of them that are going to be genuine refugees, but 95 of them ain't. So how does that work?
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Good to have you here in today's video.
I'm recording this today because I'm not copywriting, I'm paying attention. And I think AI and YouTube should do, AI and Google, but then again, they won't do much, will they? Because they're being controlled by the government. This is this AI, Meta AI on me, come on my WhatsApp. I don't even know how it's got there. I'm asking it, can you please tell me how you've got there? How has it got my phone number to get onto my WhatsApp? In the fucking first
Welcome
place.
back to the show, everyone. Good to have you here. In today's video, I'm bringing you one of the most urgent reports I've ever done on the show, which is all about the Islamic takeover of Italy. What was once the Western epicenter of Christendom has now turned into what is essentially a caliphate under massive amounts of Islamic dominance. Just watch the video I'm about to show you from the city of Turin, which you may know as housing the holy relics of the Shroud of Turin. It now resembles a city from the Middle East. It looks like a caliphate. Just watch the video I'm about to show you and how decrepit and how dirty and filthy the city has become as a result of massive amounts of Islamic migration. Now, after this, we're going to watch another video which exposes ISIS's 10-year plan to infiltrate Europe through mass migration, where they are putting on the boats masses of ISIS fighters so that by the year 2025, 2026, right now, they are in a position to overwhelm these European countries, and the key goal is to take Rome, to take the Vatican. Now, at the same time, the Pope in Rome is doing nothing about this. He's just opened up an Islamic prayer room in the Vatican library. He's doing all these interfaith dialogues as if the Muslims need to teach the Christians something, and it's followed by one platitude after the next about how Christians and Muslims need to work together. At the same time as Europe is being taken over by these Islamic migrants who don't want to learn from the Christians. They are here to dominate. And if you knew a single thing about Islam, you would know that this is jihad. They are waging war on you, and they are taking advantage of your naivety and your niceness.
If their plan for Rome succeeds, ISIS says it will throw homosexuals from the top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. But the chief target is Vatican City in Rome. And the main event, as they see it, will be the beheading of the Pope in St. Peter's Square, broadcast and live streamed to an international audience.
So we're going to cover that as well. There's so much to cover in today's video, but this is truly one of the most important videos, because what will happen to Italy and the plan they have for Italy is going to be all over Europe, and we are inching closer by the day to an irreversible tipping point. So please, watch this video, share it with someone you know. The time to wake up is now. Let's watch this video from the city of Turin. Let's go.
Turin, a city once known for its elegance, industry and unmistakable Italian character. Grand piazzas, old cafes filled with locals, and generations of families building a life beneath the Alps. But walk through the city today and something feels very different. Not just economically, spiritually. Over the last decade, mass migration into Italy has transformed entire neighborhoods across Turin. In some areas, the Italian language barely feels dominant anymore. Shuttered storefronts, growing insecurity, rising tensions, and locals quietly admitting that the city that they grew up in no longer feels like home. And it's not just in Turin. Across Europe, more and more people are beginning to ask the same uncomfortable question.
Europe is in serious trouble.
How much change can a society take before it loses the culture that made it special in the first place? Today, we're walking through the streets of Turin to see the reality for ourselves. Not the polished version tourists are sold, not the carefully managed image shown to you on travel YouTube. To understand what everyday life actually feels like in a city caught between its proud Italian past and an uncertain European future.
Jesus.
Like me, I don't go out my door. So is that because all the Italians are not going out?
Welcome everybody to Torino, a 2,000-year-old European city in the northwest of Italy. We're glad to be back somewhat here in this beautiful country, and we're starting our day off at Porta Palazzo, Europe's largest open-air market. So let's do a deep dive into Turin and see if it's just another city that's being crushed under the foot of horrific EU policy.
Yeah, absolutely destroyed. This is not the Italy we all know and love.
The vast majority of the things that are actually for sale here in the market is things like niqabs, things like hijabs, carpet sellers, rug sellers, and you have spices, a lot of fake jewelry and stuff like that as well on offer. So it's no different than if you were to go to a souk, for example, somewhere in Morocco or somewhere in Northern Africa, quite literally. And I mean that wholeheartedly.
Is this what we all voted for? Do we want this? Do we feel good now? We're not racist or something? What is
As
it?
usual, in every other city that we show you guys all throughout Europe, the buildings, the old historical buildings, are destroyed, literally destroyed, by graffiti, trash, a lot of trash.
Everywhere Islamic migration goes the same thing.
Standing around screaming into nothing, basically. And a lot of times, if they even notice that I'm recording, if they realize that I'm recording, they'll just attack you.
Yeah.
Why is King Charles saying the same thing?
People rolling in their graves that fought in World War for the protection of Europe. I know Italy had a whole crazy past as well with fascism and stuff. But what happened, man? How did we get here?
Europe. You can just watch one of these videos and apply the same thing, same playbook, all over Europe at the moment. It's insane.
Palestine flag, you see that?
It's northern Italy. A lot of Italians actually say that the south of Italy is worse, the likes of Napoli, Palermo and so on, which is correct to a certain extent, but in the north you can see it and it's slowly coming in here as well. So, I don't know, wait a few months and it's going to be the same situation here as you have in Palermo.
And I haven't got time to pull up the stats right now, but I guarantee you the crime rates have gone through the roof. The sexual exploitation through the roof. Young girls being like harassed, sexually exploited. The percentage of prison inmates through the roof would be Muslims. The same in France. In France, about 50 to 80% of all prison inmates across the country are now Muslims because they're the ones committing all the crimes. Look at these marketplaces, right? This looks like you just stepped into North Africa.
Yeah.
What happened to the cultural identity and the aesthetic and the feel and the safety of Italy? I went there on a honeymoon with my wife in 2019, and already in that space of time, this is way worse, way worse.
For Torino are just about, as they say, in the entirety of Italy. They just like to say that about 9 to 10% of the people here are of foreign-born origin, but looking around here, it seems more like 8 out of 10 are, so probably 80% and 20% locals. That's what I would say here, because it's kind of weird to be a European here, I guess.
Wow, just going to pause it and just talk about that. You know, on the show I cover statistics of Europe, and I'll often say, oh, you know, Paris is 15% Muslim, and London is about 20% Muslim, or like for the UK overall, the Islamic population is only 6%. But it certainly doesn't feel like that when you're on the ground. And that may be anecdotal, but I often wonder just how accurate these numbers are, you know, and how they're being measured. Because, like she just said, in Turin, it said that only about 10% of the population are migrants, right? But when you go there, it feels like 80% are migrants and only 10% are natives. Perhaps all the actual Italians are busy working and all the migrants on welfare are out in the streets. That could be a factor, and that is certainly happening. But I wonder how much the governments are kind of playing down the massive amounts of just invasion that's just taking place.
You know, the EU publishes numbers and people talk about how many actual illegals have actually come in to Europe over the last sort of decade. And I'm telling you right now, the statistics, the vast majority of the statistics, if you come and experience these types of cities for yourself, you understand immediately they're lying about everything. All of these numbers that are being published, plus you can't actually track the numbers of people that don't have documents, that don't have names, that don't have IDs. These people arrive here without those required documents. Obviously, they literally burn their passports or throw their passports away or flush their passports down the toilet. You can't actually track the numbers. There's no way of accurately saying, you know, 5, 15, 20%, etc., etc. But what is very tangible is just coming to places like this market, walking through, taking it all in and understanding what the demographics are. It's rapidly changing, and it's every day a new city that we're going to and experiencing these changes firsthand. And we can tell you guys, Turin, Northern Italy, Southern Italy, Western Europe, all of it it's going in a very, very, very bad direction.
It's also the situation in Europe at the moment where a lot of people obviously get naturalized and their families then become naturalized as well. They receive a local European passport and then they will immediately be recorded as such. So if, I don't know, somebody from Morocco comes here, they get an Italian passport after a little while, they are going to be recorded as an Italian. If they commit a crime, if they, I don't know, whatever they may do, it's going to say this Italian man did XYZ, which is of course inaccurate, and it's also kind of changing the numbers quite a bit at the moment. It's unfortunate.
There we go, that's enough of the first video, but what we can learn from this is that the numbers are being played down deliberately perhaps to make it seem like the crimes and the mass migration into Europe is far lower than it actually is. Now the official numbers are already extremely worrying. So just how bad is it? We don't know. But when you go to these cities and you look around and 9 out of 10 people are Islamic migrants, you start to wonder, hold on a second, which way round are the numbers? It's not that 10% are migrants and the rest are native, it's the other way around. Now the next video we're going to watch was published 10 years ago on YouTube by CBN News, and it is haunting. Because in the video, they talk about this 10-year plan that ISIS has to achieve something in Europe, in Italy, by the year 2025. We are at that point now, and it's absolutely haunting to watch that they have actually achieved basically everything they set out to achieve. And more is to come. Watch this.
The Islamic State has a plan to conquer Rome. Yes, it sounds crazy, but ISIS believes the conquest of Rome is central to its mission and necessary to fulfill what Islam teaches was the prophecy of Muhammad and to prepare the return of the Muslim Messiah, the Mahdi.
Yeah,
Robert Spencer is the author of The Complete Infidel's Guide to ISIS.
ISIS thinks that Rome is one of its primary goals and that it is in its timetable. It has a timetable wherein in the next 10 years, by the year 2025, it hopes to bring about Armageddon, the final struggle between good and evil, or between the Muslims and the non-Muslims.
So there we go. So as we're all talking about the downfall of Western civilization, the destruction of Europe, the Islamification of Europe, and how each one of these European countries is falling to Islam, what we are actually describing is this Armageddon plan that ISIS put into place about 10 years ago. Right? So this is what we're experiencing, and it's deliberate. And as we're about to get into, it's through mass migration. This is the key strategic goal of ISIS and basically all jihadis.
The two great Roman cities would be conquered, Constantinople and Rome. Constantinople today is Istanbul, a Muslim city. Rome remains to be conquered. Now, before you laugh, consider that phase 1 of the Islamic State's plan to take Rome may already be underway, flooding Europe with ISIS fighters under the cover of the refugee crisis.
They're not talking about doing it by conventional armies.
There you go.
They're talking about doing it by overwhelming these lands with sympathizers from within and an influx of other people from outside.
The Islamic State reveals part of its plan in its publication Black Flags from Rome. It will use sleeper cells and expects to get help from Muslims serving in European armies and from non-Muslim sympathizers. It also wants to fire missiles into Italy that it has captured on the battlefield. This is a threat that is hard to be concerned about. For Italian and foreign policy expert Emanuele Ottolenghi,
the concern should be commensurate to the reality of the threat. The Islamic State does not pose that kind of a threat today.
Well, that didn't age well, did it? That's exactly where we're at today, where we have sleeper cells from ISIS, from Al-Qaeda, from all these other jihadi groups all across Europe in their masses. We know that the UK has admitted to numbers of about 40,000 jihadists living in the UK, which they're on constant supervision. Those are the ones we know about. Those are the ones that they admit to. The number is likely at least double that. That's just for the tiny country of the UK. Imagine Italy and France and Germany and Sweden and Norway.
Ottolenghi.
The concern should be commensurate to the reality of the threat. The Islamic State does not pose that kind of a threat today.
Well, that didn't age well, did it? That's exactly where we're at today, where we have sleeper cells from ISIS, from Al-Qaeda, from all these other jihadi groups all across Europe in their masses. We know that the UK has admitted to numbers of about 40,000 jihadists living in the UK, which they're on constant supervision. Those are the ones we know about. Those are the ones that they admit to. The number is likely at least double that. That's just for the tiny country of the UK. Imagine Italy and France and Germany and Sweden and Norway and Spain and Portugal and Belgium and the Netherlands. Right? Everywhere. They are everywhere. And it was stupid naivety, just like this guy is demonstrating, that allowed it to happen when we had the clear warning. When they're telling you to your face. Right, and you might have heard earlier when they're talking about how they're acquiring weapons and getting, military personnel. It's not only for Muslims, but non-Muslim sympathizers, aka the radical leftists, the Marxists. They're teaming up with them. Like, have we woken up yet? Can we start having adult conversations about this yet? Have we failed to heed the warnings? And now it's almost too late.
And it is hard to see how ISIS could conquer a city of 3 million people in a nation of 60 million people.
Easy.
But it is not hard to see ISIS attempting it. The conquest of Rome has been a primary goal since the beginning of the Islamic State.
They think that the conquest of Rome will be the complete sign of Islam's superiority over Christianity and defeat of Christianity.
They also see the fall of Rome on an eschatological timeline that will culminate in a battle near Dabiq, Syria, their version of Armageddon.
And they think that once this battle takes place at Dabiq, this final battle, which they see coming in by 10 years from now, in 2025, that the Muslims will battle
Hang on a minute, AI. Never mind that. What do you think's wrong with me? Because the only thing I can say, yeah, I do have some mental health issues towards me abuse that I got abused when I was a kid, yeah. Probably, I've also got exhaustion from worry about my little girl. Well, obviously it's going to be causing exhaustion-ish, isn't it? But the main problem I think I have, if you're telling me that the illness is lying, do you mean the coronavirus vaccine? Are you trying to tell me then I've got cancer? Have I got cancer? Are you telling me I am correct? Because I've been saying to myself now, since I've had them COVID vaccines, that I've got cancer. Are you correct? Am I correct? And I've not had no tests. No, I've diagnosed myself. I've diagnosed myself already because I know I've got cancer. Because it sounds like cancer. And is that what you're trying to tell me? Right, well, I'll go back to the video now, because there's nothing they'll be doing anyway.
Non-Muslims in this town in northern Syria.
There is no treatment for the COVID vaccine that they've given me, is there? Well, what can they do about, what can they do about my arm? What can they do about the pain in my arm to do with the coronavirus vaccine?
And then Jesus, the Muslim prophet, and
Jesus.
Syria, their version of Armageddon.
And they think that once this battle takes place at Dhabi, this final battle, which they see coming in by 10 years from now, in 2025, that the Muslims will battle the non-Muslims in this town in northern Syria, and then Jesus, the Muslim prophet, and the Mahdi will return to the earth, and they will together conquer and Islamize the world.
Morons.
Succeeds, ISIS says it will throw homosexuals from the top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. But the chief target is Vatican City in Rome. And the main event, as they see it, will be the beheading of the Pope in St. Peter's Square, broadcast and live streamed to an international audience.
There was a Polish convert to Islam recently who has joined the Islamic State, and he said, once we take Rome, we're going to carry out mass beheadings in St. Peter's Square. And so this is the plan, to convert St. Peter's Square into a huge site of executions
in Rome. Helicopter again. Definitely the chopper. Definitely fine about that, I can hear it. There's nothing wrong with much of your hearing, I can totally hear alright. But I can hear. It's in the background, it's about Pit Farm, maybe about half a mile away.
People considered to be the enemies of Allah, chief among them the Pope.
The Pope? That's not good. That is not good, is it? The Pope. The chief of the Pope. They want to behead him. That doesn't sound good. That sounds scary.
To convert St. Peter's Square into a huge site of executions of people considered to be the enemies of Allah, chief among them the Pope, in order to cow and frighten the rest of the world into submitting to their rule.
Are you getting all of this?
For now, has little chance.
I show so many videos, it seems like the masses are still not awake to this yet.
William McCann says ISIS has recently taken a longer-term view of the conquest of Rome and the return of the Mahdi, and is willing to wait in order to build up its forces. ISIS is already next door to Italy in North Africa. More importantly, Islamic State fighters are almost certainly already inside the country, posing as refugees, going about their lives, waiting for the day when the battle for Rome begins.
There we go, right in front of our faces. This video was published 10 years ago. Just think how much Europe has changed over the space of 10 years. And just know that all the boats that are flooding into Europe, which all the Europeans with bleeding hearts are saying, oh, please come in, we want to help you, are just letting in the Trojan horse of ISIS.
But why?
There are sleeper cells all across Europe.
Yeah, sleeper cells.
ISIS are achieving what they set out to achieve. And instead of doing anything about it, the Pope in Rome is doing what?
Fight Russia as
right?
Well,
We're going to read off some headlines now. Okay, now we obviously know that the Pope opened up the Islamic prayer room in the Vatican. Why?
Why did King Charles do that?
Just why does that even need to be there? That's the first question, right? Who is he helping? Is he helping Christ?
Yeah.
Is he helping the Christian world?
Yeah.
Is he uphold?
Why has King Charles done the same at Oxford and Cambridge as the Pope? That's weird. That is very, very weird, isn't it? You're not answering me now because you know I'm right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do I have cancer or not? Do you think, AI, that I might have cancer? Doesn't like going for it.
Following the truth of Christ and Scripture? No.
Yeah.
It's bowing down. It's placating to people who want to behead you.
What, want to behead us?
Christians and Muslims must...
So they want to behead me, or whoever. Hang on. Is that not violence from what that is, what's being said? Is that not violence the opposite way round? So basically, what I was saying about King Charles isn't violence then. Well, according to ISIS and all the Pope and all these people, it's not violence. It's obviously political, religious.
The Pope in Rome is doing what? Right? We're going to read off some headlines now. Okay, now we obviously know that the Pope opened up the Islamic prayer room in the Vatican. Why? Just why does that even need to be there? That's the first question, right? Who is he helping? Is he helping Christ? Is he helping the Christian world? Is he upholding the truth of Christ and Scripture? No. It's bowing down. It's placating to people who want to behead you.
That want to behead us.
Christians and Muslims must work together to revive
I was
humanity.
going to say, if they want to behead the Pope, how come they don't want to behead King Charles? Because it's obviously the same thing.
The
that's what they're going to do, because basically they'll behead the Pope and then, well, King Charles has already submitted anyway, hasn't he? Because he's doing the same, so that's probably why. I wonder if that's why they're submitting, because they're scared themselves that they're going to get their heads chopped off. I don't know.
Needs to abandon Islam, let Christians enter into those countries to save them from all the absolute depravity that is all across the Islamic world. The inbreeding, the child marriage, right? All the cousin marriage in Pakistan, it's like 90% of people are inbred, right? All the sexual exploitation, the polygamy, how these countries just suck, all the dictatorships,
my problem
like the lack of like amenities for the poor, the sick, the widows, the orphans. These countries suck. They don't produce anything. They're not safe to be in, no one wants to live in them.
That's not
right. So when it comes to reviving humanity, no, the Islamic world.
It's not just me with anxiety problems, is it? It's obviously a lot of people. AI. So you're going to get an ambulance. You're going to tell everybody to get an ambulance. Everything to get an ambulance, because everything. There's a lot of worried people out there.
Well, needs to learn from the Christians. Not the other way around.
So, well, yeah, Islam, well, they're saying, well, that's what King Charles has said. King Charles said that we need to learn from Islam. Yeah, he did. Yes, it's there, isn't it? And why is the Pope and these saying the same things?
Pope Leo highlights legacy of fraternity with the Muslim world. What are you talking about?
Well, King Charles says the same thing. Why? Why are they all saying the same? What are they saying the same things for? Are you trying to cut me off now and answer me actual messages? That's all now. Why are you not answering me messages? Can you tell me why you're not answering? Not answering my voice recordings. Can you tell me if I do have cancer? Can you tell me if I have cancer? Can you tell me if I do?
Communities for the poor, the sick, the widows, the orphans. These countries suck. They don't produce anything. They're not safe to be in. No one wants to live in them. Right? So when it comes to reviving humanity...
And then can you get back down to about the Pope? Can you tell me why the Pope and the King are saying the same things, please?
Thing about it. The Pope in Rome is doing what?
Can you tell me why the Pope in Rome is saying the same thing as King Charles?
We're going to read off some headlines now. Okay, now we obviously know that the Pope opened up...
Why are you not answering no more? What's wrong with you? Why are you blanking me? Did you get sent to WhatsApp by the government? I wonder where this is all come from. I wonder if some of this is because of what? I mean, are they scared? Is the Pope and the King scared because they're going to get their heads chopped off, or what's going on? Really? Wow, I can't believe they want to chop the Pope's head off. Not me. What is this terrorist group? Whoever they are, I don't know. Oh.
There are sleeper cells all across Europe.
Obviously, there's all this. That's why the
ISIS are achieving what they set out to achieve. And instead of doing anything about it, the Pope in Rome is doing what? Right? We're going to read off some headlines now. Okay, now we obviously know that the Pope opened up the Islamic prayer room in the Vatican. Why?
And why has King Charles done the same thing?
Just why does that even need to be there? That's the first question, right? Who is he helping? Is he helping Christ? Is he helping the Christian world? Is he upholding the truth of Christ and Scripture? No. It's bowing down. It's placating to people who want to behead you. Christians and Muslims must work together to revive humanity.
Yeah.
No. The Islamic world needs to abandon Islam, let Christians enter into those countries to save them from all the absolute depravity that is all across the Islamic world. The inbreeding, the child marriage, right? All the cousin marriage in Pakistan, it's like 90% of people are inbred, right? All the sexual exploitation, the polygamy, how these countries just suck, all the dictatorships, like the lack of like amenities for the poor, the sick, the widows, the orphans. These countries suck. They don't produce anything. They're not safe to be in. No one wants to live in them. Right? So when it comes to reviving humanity, no, the Islamic world needs to learn from the Christians, not the other way around. Pope Leo highlights legacy of fraternity with the Muslim world. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? For 1400 years since day one, Islam has not viewed the Christian world as a fraternal brotherhood. I'm about to shoot one last video that shows that the Islamists already entered into Rome and desecrated the graves of St. Peter and Paul. That's the next video I'm about to show you, a quick one. Right? The West should be less fearful of Islam, says the Pope.
No.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Right? There are so many headlines that come out. I haven't got time to read them all. I've read some of them. But there's so much naivety, looking the other way, placating.
Can you tell me what? All right, you heard me, Caroline. Did you? What is that illness then that I've got? Because is it cancer? Is it from the vaccine? Because I reckon it is, isn't it? I reckon it's whatever they've jabbed in my arm, because I've not been well since. My hair's been falling out since. There's things that I don't feel right. Well, I feel right in myself, but I mean, I'll be my energy, certain things, not my arm's killing me, my arm. I wish the pain in my arm would go away. I've had it for years now, it just won't go away. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the feeling of it. But hey ho, I'm still here so far, so stuff it. I'm not dead yet. Well, until they want to come and chop our heads off, well, I don't know if they're going to chop my head off, but they're chopping somebody. I mean, they're going to know. I don't. Who's going to know? That's the point.
Into Islam every single time. For what?
And then
right?
It's as if,
forgive me, the Pope has no idea what he's talking about when it comes to Islam. And I wish he would. Right? Now, to remedy some of this naivety and ignorance, I'm going to play you a short video clip from William Federer talking about the Islamic invasion into Rome. Check this out.
846 AD, 11,000 Muslim pirates went up the Tiber River and they sacked.
Do you know William Farrer? I wonder if you might be interested in listening to that. There we are. Might be something in common with you. I wonder if you know what this is, about the Bible, about Islam and everything is.
I'm going to play you a short video clip from William Federer talking about the Islamic invasion into Rome. Check this out.
846 AD, 11,000 Muslim pirates went up the Tiber River and they sacked Rome. And they trashed the Basilica of St. Peter's, and they trashed the grave of St. Peter and St. Paul. So Pope Leo IV built a 39-foot wall around the Vatican. And it's still there. I went to school in Rome and college, and I've been at that bus stop many times.
So the former Pope Leo built this huge, 39-foot wall all around the Vatican to protect it from Muslims. That's why that wall is there. If you go to the Vatican, go to Rome, you see that wall. It was put there, it was built there by the Christians to protect themselves from the Muslims. So this whole thing about, we've got this long fraternity, this brotherhood, we need to learn from each other, we need to grow, and we need to work together to help the world. Nonsense. Nonsense. They're coming for your head, Pope Leo. They are coming for your head. Which, as Christians, we don't have this same fear of martyrdom for dying for Christ. But martyrdom is one thing, stupidity is another thing. Okay? And what we're seeing, unfortunately, right now is stupidity. That's what I would call it. Now, the final thing I want to show you from this speech relates to how Europeans love to drink coffee and eat croissants, particularly in Italy with the cappuccinos and the espressos. But we need to remember how it is that these two food items came about. And they actually have to do with Christians fighting back against Muslims. So let's watch this video clip. It'll blow your mind. It's also a little bit funny. Let's watch it.
And then, when you have 200,000 Muslims surround Vienna, on September 11th, 1683, the Polish king, Jan Sobieski, has his huge cavalry charge, and they defeat the Turks, and so he's considered the savior of Western Europe. Now, when the Muslims left so fast, they left their tents in place. Here's a Teddy Roosevelt quote. From the hammer of Charles Martel to the sword of Jan Sobieski, Christianity owed its safety in Europe to the fact it could fight as well as the Mohammedan aggressor. So when they won the Battle of Vienna, September 11, 1683, and the Turks fled, they left their tents in place. And Jan Sobieski's men go into the tents and they find these bags of beans, coffee beans. And they realized this was the new Turkish Muslim drink that allowed them to fight day and night. And but they weren't sure if they should drink it because, by the way, the coffee bean came from Ethiopia in Africa, which was the one African country to stay Christian, the Christians in Ethiopia. And so since the Muslims called the Christians in Ethiopia kafirs, which means infidel, and the bean came from Ethiopia, they called it the kafir bean, or the infidel bean. So have you had your cup of infidel today? But they weren't sure if they should drink it, so they took a cup of it to Pope Clement, and he tasted it and said, "This is too good to leave for the Muslims, let's baptize it." And then coffee spread across.
This is trying to tell me that I've got deranged, I know I've got, my mum's got it, my sister's got it, microdeletion. So I know I've got that, possibly. I know I've got some mental health issues and things, to do with my abuse and things, when I was a child and things. Obviously, unfortunately, that side of them mental health issues ain't ever going to go away. It's always going to be in the back of my mind, isn't it? Like this person that's just nearly had his head chopped off, he's going to have that in his mind for the rest of his life. Like them little girls in from Southport, the ones that didn't die, thank God. When they grow up, they're going to have mental health issues because that's always going to be in the mind. Yes? But that doesn't mean this, well, you tell me then what else is wrong with me. If you heard me, why are you not answering me? Or can't you keep up? I'm only doing it in short things is because you won't take a full recording. So if you would take a full recording of half an hour, I'll just let you listen to what this is saying. Because I'm listening to what this is saying because I've put it together with King Charles. Because I don't get why the Pope's saying it and King Charles is saying it. And then the governments are saying the same thing as King Charles and the Pope, and it's going on and on and on. To be all me fair. And they're all seem to be saying the same thing. Diversity, and this is our strength. And all opening in big Islamic centres and all of this. So it's not just like I'm saying it's just King Charles. It can't just be King Charles. And it can't just be Starmer. Because this was happening before Starmer. He's just a plebber making it worse than England. That's why they put him there. Because he knew everybody hated him from Jimmy fucking Savile. So they had to make it worse. Oh, because of King Charles. Oh, because he's a human rights lawyer and all that. That's what it is. That's why he got there and they kicked Sunak out. Because I was voting for Sunak. I mean, to be honest with you, I am voting for Rupert Lowe. I can't wait for Rupert Lowe. I mean, Sunak would never... I couldn't compare Sunak to Rupert Lowe. Rupert Lowe is 100%. But out of Starmer and Sunak, I'd have stuck with Sunak all day, yeah. I mean, Sunak wasn't as bad as this. Nowhere near. He was alright, Sunak. He did start to... I think he started to just slowly pick things up. And it's a shame that he wasn't able to stay in that bit longer and get that one plane off the ground to Rwanda. Because if he got that one plane off the ground to Rwanda, the people in England, he'd have been picked up by the people. People would have had a party and would have been so happy, and that would have just been the one plane. I think just one plane, and people would have been having a party about it. Well, I know it's not going to be, change everything so much, just one plane. But it's the fact that it would be the fact that that one plane with the people have seen it. One plane, and they've took, a couple of hundred people on the plane. And it would be but the thing is, people would be happy because they'd see a start. It would have been a start, wouldn't it? Alright, it's not going to solve everything. It wouldn't have solved, everything. They're probably not going to send millions and millions like it probably needs. But it just would have been it would have been a start. And then, like saying, it was a deterrent to stop them coming over. It wasn't just to send them there. That was a deterrent that they had to get the first few planes, well, at least one plane and a couple of planes off the ground to show the people that are trying to come in the country. If you come in the country, you're just going to be sent, you're possibly going to be sent to Rwanda. And that was what the deterrent part was. It wasn't they were going to send thousands and millions of migrants there. They'd have sent a couple of planes worth. Do you get that? And basically that was the deterrent to stop other people coming into the country illegally. So I don't get people, why these people are all saying the same things. Because then there's something seriously. Because they're all saying it. So we're screwed in Europe completely. All the people in Europe are screwed, isn't it? And then it's scary to think, where have all the English people gone? Where's all the Italians gone? Where's all the Spanish and the bloody French and the Germans and that gone? Where's all the Greek gone? Where's all the actual Turks gone? Turkey people. The people in real Turkish people. The original people. Like with ancestry, they're born in Turkey and they've basically got like DNA. Like I'm born in England and my DNA is like 95% English. AI and Google's trying to con me out. I don't give a bugger, it's 95% English. My mum's English, I'm English, my granddad's on both sides, my great-great-granddad's going flipping 1,500 years worth are all born in England. And I come from them both both of two lines of that. So I don't have any Irish, any Scottish, any Welsh in me. I'm just English. So that's why I say I'm not British.
Infidel. And the bean
Infidels' children.
came from Ethiopia. They called it the kafir bean or the infidel bean. So have you had your cup of infidel today? But they weren't sure if they should drink it, so they took a cup of it to Pope Clement, and he tasted it and said, this is too good to leave for the Muslims, let's baptize it. And then coffee spread across Europe. Now, as the Turks were invading Vienna, they would tunnel under the walls.
But I mean, I suppose if King Charles and that was saying that he was doing this Oxford thing, to diversity, to bring people together. Look, this is what I'm trying to say about King Charles. Why don't King Charles come out and just speak properly to the people about it and try and speak for both sides and put like this guy's done here. You know, he's not criticising Islam. He's not criticising the West, and he's made all this. He's very, very clever to do what this man's done. It's very clever. And, you know, and make it into things that people can learn to understand. Because when you can start to learn to understand, it does take that fear away. It takes that away. When you see when you see the real thing, what you're looking at, it doesn't seem as bad. Some things don't seem as bad when you can see and then some things do seem as bad. So either way, we're buggered. Buggered in Europe, aren't we? Seems like we're buggered in Europe.
Lay explosives and then blow it up and a portion of the wall would crumble. Well, the baker was up early in Vienna and he heard the noise under the ground, and so the soldiers put out buckets of water and they could see where the ripples were, and they dug and they intercepted the tunnel and they saved Vienna. So afterwards they were going to reward the baker for warning him. He said, I don't need a reward. Just give me the sole permission to cook a pastry in the shape of the Muslim crescent, and it was called a croissant. So the next time you have coffee and croissants, you can celebrate the victory of the Battle of Vienna, September 11th, 1683.
There we go. So, first of all, how cool is that? Second of all, Europe. Remember who you are. Every single morning that you wake up and you have that cup of coffee and you eat that croissant, just know you are eating the symbols of Christian defeat against Islamic aggression.
Yeah.
Right? So instead of Islam taking over your cities and eating you up for breakfast, eat them up for breakfast. Their aggression, their nonsense. Every morning when you drink that coffee and you have that croissant, all across Europe, especially in Italy and France, just know that these were brought to you through a symbolic defeat of Islam. Now, it seems like Europe has forgotten this. The Pope in Rome definitely seems to have forgotten this. But it's time we remember. So please, share this video with everyone you can. The time to wake up was easily 10, 20 years ago. It's not too late. Please help in the process of waking people up by sharing this video around on Facebook, send it to your friends and family. Give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, hype the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll speak to you in the next one. God bless.
The war was about nearly 100 years ago, isn't it? About 100 years ago, isn't it? Freaking hell.
Alright, check this out. This is Jeremy Kyle, the TV presenter in the...
Jeremy Kyle. Oh yeah. Because the thing is, right, I'm going to put the next one. Thank you very much. I will put one about King Charles as well on there, on somewhere. But yeah, I'll add, because once I put it into YouTube and then put it into a notepad and stuff, I'll add King Charles into what he's saying with the information I've got about King Charles. And you'll see the matchup that King Charles is saying the same as the Pope. Keir Starmer is saying the same as King Charles and the Pope. And they're all saying the same things. Which is not funny.